You don't need your stinking nose.
No, I don't, but it's fun to do the poison kiss on it. Anyway, hello everybody. I'm Sage. This is my what do you call him? Broadcast colleague Fox. And we are back again to go on the journey of the worst wrestling ever. And oh boy, was this a doozy.
I think at the time I texted you and said something about actually like it causing you mental pain or something.
This is probably the reason you've been so tired. This was an exhausting episode.
I've been trying to sleep off and on all day. I'm still completely tired.
If anybody wants to know about the chair, while we were setting up, we were going to move the chair, and the boss of the house, Elvira, decided she was going to take it for herself. So
I mean, she left now. She's just hanging around the legs of the chair, but he's like, we already started it. So,
but anyway, today's episode of Worst Wrestling Ever is the September 4th, 2000 Monday Nitro, aka Russo's Revenge.
And it wasn't just a cute nickname, they said it during the program.
I think that was technically the name of that triple-decker cage match, was Russo's Revenge. Which, I don't know, I mean, this is 2000 WCW, so...
First thought about the triple-decker cage. It isn't the worst idea I've ever seen. It was pretty dumb, but it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, I've seen worse ideas than, like Buff Bagwell's Mom on a Pole. I guess technically forklift, but yeah. There's a conspiracy theory that's gone around that Vince Russo was actually sent to WCW by Vince McMahon in order to kill it. After seeing today's episode?
Maybe.
But anyway, let's actually get into it.
First thing I got started, the first thing I have on the list is the Insane Clown Posse versus Rey Mysterio and Juventud, the Filthy Animals.
Yep.
I mean, and it has been, my note is, it has been a very long time since I've seen Rey do the Bronco Buster.
Yep, ICP. Representing the Dark Carnival would be ICP. Yeah, and the thing about this match was, the ICP aren't terrible wrestlers. They're not, but man, they just simply couldn't keep up with Rey and Hoovy.
No, by comparison, they looked terrible. Because
Rey and Hoovy just outpaced them so bad. They need someone who can work a little slower at their pace.
Yeah.
I like the little Conan thing where he's talking about his shirt. He's like, feel it. That's enough. Where Tigress was like touching.
I'm not used to maskless Rey.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's... Can't even say he looks like a kid, though kind of. It's really more like he's some guy.
Yeah. He's very unstriking without his mask.
Yeah.
Hoovy without his mask looks kind of like one of those guys who's trying really, really hard, trying too hard to look like the handsome guy. It's like, he's not bad looking, but you can tell he's trying very hard to, like, be the El Guapo.
He is a 4'5" Rico Suave.
Yeah, basically. So, up next I actually have the Lance Storm forcing Tylene Buck to run for some reason.
Yeah, when I have that... I have that later listed because
we keep cutting back to it.
Sections.
But it's like, man, why would they try to get Major Guns to bounce, 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 run on a treadmill, bounce, bounce, bounce?
Yeah, what I have here,
okay.
I do have it at the bottom of this page.
Okay.
It's like all night, Lance Storm and is seemingly sexually torturing Major Guns into being Canadian.
Yeah. Yeah, literally every single one of those was just to show off Tylene Buck's chest. The one where she's doing the push-ups, so just like, oh, look at my sweaty cleavage. And then the last one, which actually has some stuff happen in it, so we'll get to it when we get to that one.
Right, but that's all I had to say about that.
Yeah, I just wanted to basically make the point that, wow, they really were just trying to show off Tylene Buck's chest.
Next thing I had was the Russo segment.
Yep, that's what I've got.
Which took forever.
Oh my gosh.
And a little jarring to actually hear the terms face and heel in the 2000s. But he did it. He got away with breaking kayfabe like that by saying that that's what he personally calls them.
I made a note here about his attempt at Cheap Heat, where he was talking about the Dallas Cowboys. He's like, someone needs to remind Trey Aikman what his name is. And I was like, what does that even mean? Like,
yeah.
What kind of weird-ass insult
if you're going for Cheap Heat, it needs to be cheap. Why are you working for it?
But I was just like, why? What does that insult even mean? Nash comes out, and does the Wolfpack theme ever not hit? Like, that is...
I love the Wolfpack.
That is a good theme. That is. Yeah, he comes out, and then he throws a big hissy fit because he doesn't want to do the cage match.
Well, he doesn't... Not necessarily he doesn't want the cage match. He doesn't want it to have the belt on the line for it.
Yeah, because he's not a fighting champ. But it's fine, whatever, but...
Eventually, they come up with the conclusion that all of the faces have to go through qualifying matches, and none of Russo's crew have to. It's all the good guys have to go through qualifying matches first tonight before going into the other match.
And so it's something you probably didn't notice, but it's something I have to make a joke about. They bring up the fact that the show is sponsored by Western Union. The fastest way for your 90-year-old grandma to send an Indian call center her life savings. Now they all want Apple gift cards, but used to be when they would do those call center scams, they would want you to send that shit through Western Union.
If it isn't something purely digital, yeah, they want gift cards.
Yep.
Because it's easy to avoid being traced.
Yup. Because if you do it through a sheer bank transfer, the bank will just transfer that money back out.
Mm-hmm.
Elvira, I can't read my notes. Ugh.
She don't care. You know, you heard her little protest when you moved her.
I know.
She went, yeah.
You can see her paintbrush challenge camera.
Yeah.
Nazi brothers come down. They want to play the footage where they beat up Chronic in the dive bar. Do you have that on here?
I don't have it mentioned, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Basically, the Nazi brothers come down and they're like, we beat up Chronic in a dive bar. And then that's it.
Well, I did have, the end of the Russo segment.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
After announcing the qualifying matches, Sting... They had lowered the cage. It turned out they lowered the cage for safety.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot about this.
And,
you're right.
But Sting snuck his way in because he went in up through the mat.
Mm-hmm.
And threatened Russo. And Russo's like, help me, Nash. And Nash, still ticked off, walked off. He's like, you put the belt on the line. Screw you. Anyway.
Yep.
Next one I have is the first qualifier.
Yep, that's all I got now.
Handicap match, Sting versus Muta and Vampiro.
Yep.
It was the shortest handicap match I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh, they just... the great Muta, they just made him into a jobber. Jesus Christ, that was lame.
It was incredibly short. I barely noticed. Damn.
And then Booker T versus Stevie Ray.
Which I think was a brilliantly heel move.
Yes.
I was like, may not have actually worn Booker T out, but it was a psychological torture thing.
I wish they capitalized on it. Because one of the things I really liked about the way that match was booked was when the match started, Stevie Ray jumped Booker T from behind. And then after the match, Booker T was like, dude, what the hell? And Stevie Ray's like, because they're going to use these tactics on you. You got to make sure to keep your head on a swivel, man. I wish that came to play in the main event. It doesn't. But it would have been really good if somebody tried to jump Booker T and he was ready for it. Because that would have been, like, a really good way to be like, oh, yeah, no, the thing Stevie Ray did actually kind of remind Booker that they're gonna fucking use cheap tactics on him.
That would have been actually good writing, though. And that's the problem with, like, this whole event.
Yeah, exactly. But that moment was a brilliant moment that WCW didn't capitalize on.
Right.
It was a fine match. It, honestly, probably the best match of the night, if we're being honest. Like, also, Booker T's theme is amazing. I love Booker T's theme.
Yeah. Cat versus Chronic is my next one.
Yep. Oh, I have a note here. Yay, 3 count. Boo. Fuck you, Chronic. I like 3 count. Because they were the ones that Chronic ran out.
Okay.
Their gimmick was they're a boy band.
I see.
I
was wondering what the idea was.
Yeah, they're a parody of the like Backstreet Boys. Cat versus Chronic in a handicap match.
Eliminated Cat.
However, it means that both members of Chronic qualified.
Fact that Scott Steiner was really pissed about.
Yeah.
Backstage.
Boy, howdy.
Like, you idiot. You called this a master plan? Now it's Chronic's in there.
Yeah.
Cat was no threat. Keep him.
Exactly. Fucking Russo, what a clown. Russo comes off like kind of like an idiot in most of this.
I'll have a thing to say at the end of that. About that. But I had Shane, unless you have other segment, I have Shane Douglas versus Goldberg.
Yep. So one of the things I like about before this, they had the thing where Shane Douglas was backstage wanting to fight with Goldberg, and Vince Russo was like, Shane Douglas, I got some guys to watch your back, the Natural Born Thrillers. And Torrie Wilson was like, no, he can handle them one-on-one because the Natural Born Thrillers are idiots. Because the Natural Born Thrillers are idiots. But just the comment was, I think it was Tony Schiavone said, Torrie Wilson put franchise in quite a dangerous position. And he goes, honestly, I'd let Torrie Wilson put me in any position. And yeah.
Gross. But yes.
But also, yeah, I mean it's Torrie Wilson, like.
I was like, I'm not disagreeing. That's just the nature of how women were treated in wrestling.
Yeah.
That's my thought.
Oh, it is, but, like, this was 2000s. Like,
yeah.
They had Shane Douglas versus Goldberg. And I'm honestly shocked Shane Douglas got a little bit of offense in. I thought this was going to be a straight squash.
As far as Goldberg matches go, it was a particularly long one.
What's funny is Shane Douglas was actually doing better before the Natural Born Thriller showed up. Like, he was actually getting moves in, and all of a sudden Natural Born Thriller show up, and Goldberg just cleans house. So I figured it out.
Net negative, I suppose.
Goldberg has some kind of weird, like, Sebastian Shaw power, where the more people attacking him, the more power he builds up.
The more the odds are set against him.
Yeah.
Okay, that's an interesting.
But yeah, that's all I have for the match.
My next one I have is unrelated to anything else happening in the night. We have Big Vito versus the Natural Born Thrillers in a gauntlet match. 6-on-1 mugging where Vito holds his own for a bit, but then it very sadly becomes a beatdown.
Yeah, pretty much. However, a couple things happened before that.
Okay.
With Tylene Buck in the swimming pool, where the Misfits in action just throw everybody in the water, and they get in the water. So I guess it's true, Tylene Buck just makes everybody wet. And also, do you remember the Arn Anderson speech? How he was going to be at David Flair's wedding? It's like, David Flair's marriage to Stacy, or Miss Hancock, and I'm like, oh no. Oh no, I know where this goes.
I don't exactly know where it goes.
So, okay, I'll give you... We probably won't cover any of this, but I'll let you guys know. So it turns out, for the wedding, that Miss Hancock is pregnant. But it's not David Flair's baby, it's Ric Flair's baby.
Well...
And then... In a mud wrestling, I can't remember who she's with, a mud wrestling match, she has a miscarriage.
which I'm just finding this out. I have a few thoughts. She is confirmed to be pregnant.
Correct.
Why is she being put in any matches?
WCW.
Is that WCW's form of offering free abortion?
Basically, I guess. But yeah, when I saw that, there's like the wedding of David Flair and Miss Hancock, and I'm just like, oh, I know where this goes. This does not end well. Look, people talk about the finger poke of doom and David Arquette.
Oh, that was nothing.
Honest to God, the Ric Flair David Flair wedding might be the worst thing that I don't know. It is up there. It's one of the worst, and nobody ever talks about it, which is weird because it is so bad, and it's so embarrassing for the legend that is Ric Flair. Like, say what you want about him as a person. There's all that stuff that can't with him. But like, as far as in ring goes, Ric Flair's a legend, and there is no wrestling without Ric Flair. And to have him involved in this sorry excuse for a storyline is not good.
This whole show so far, when compared to the event you had me see previously, the finger poke of doom, by comparison, my God, this is so much worse.
So much worse.
And I don't know what caused the downfall of WCW, but if this is any evidence, it definitely shows the pure decline.
Well, notice some
just 1 year apart.
Notice some people you didn't have on the show: Chris Jericho, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, Perry Saturn.
By then they all jumped, didn't they?
Yup. Notice that all them good guys in the undercard who were putting on those solid matches, no longer here. It's Booker T and Rey Mysterio. Like, that's who we got putting on good matches. So yeah, that has a lot to do with the quality of the show, is the fact that the guys who actually were carrying the undercard, which is what most people watch WCW for, gone. And like I said, this whole thing with Ric Flair just completely devalue Ric Flair as a superstar. Not gonna lie, this show doesn't really make Vince Russo or Kevin Nash look that good either.
No, not really.
But I guess now we're at Russo's Revenge.
We're at War Games 2000, yes.
Yep.
Sting and Jarrett started first.
Yep.
Then the exact order I wrote down was then Steiner, then Chronic, then Russo, then Booker T, Nash, then Goldberg. I think.
Let me see here. Because I got the order here. JJ, Sting, Steiner, Chronic, Russo comes out with the Nazi brothers.
Okay.
I gotta know here, but yeah, then Nash, Booker.
Oh, I had those two reversed. Okay.
Yeah, as Nash comes out, turns on Russo, Booker comes out. Then the third time hearing the Harlem Heat theme, which is amazing. And Cat stops Russo from... Yeah, okay, yep. I love how Vince Russo comes out with his little dunce helmet on. I know it's a hockey helmet, but...
Yeah.
I
would just say this. McMahon never came out with head protection.
Nope.
Ever.
First of all, I mean, just what the fuck is Russo doing in this match?
I don't know.
Like, that's...
I mean, I understood it when you had Cat on the other side.
Yeah.
But they got rid of that.
Well, I mean, he couldn't find anyone else to put instead of himself. Well, it's, Russo was trying to make himself into, like, that star. Honestly, one of the problems with this match is it's kind of just dull. Anyone on the second floor, like, didn't really do much because that floor had a little give, so it's hard to, like, pull off wrestling moves. And, I mean, the people in the match, like, Nash ain't gonna do shit.
I had one particular complaint. It's like, when it's all panned back to try to catch all the action,
Mm-hmm.
you can't see shit.
No, you can't. And does the third cage even really come into effect in the match?
That's just where they keep the belt.
Like...
And you know, due to the exact rules of the match, if this was WWE, we would have some insane person on the top who has the belt who just jump off.
Yeah. That'd be how Jeff Hardy wins it.
Yeah. Or
Shane or
Mick Foley.
Mick Foley, yep. So yeah, I can't... Somebody gets the belt. I don't remember who gets the belt now. And they make their way down, and the Dash was like, right, the strategy is just sit there and wait for the guy to bring the belt down and take it from him.
I believe Booker made it down with the belt.
Probably.
But they couldn't escape the cage.
Right.
And that's really all that mattered. It's not like, oh, you lost control of the belt, now it's back up there. No, that's not how that worked.
And then Goldberg got the title, was about to leave, and then we got the big twist of the night. Bret Hart showed up and stopped.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
that was weird.
Yeah. And they had this weird idea in WCW that Bret Hart was going to be like this big heel. And honestly, I think the thing was, considering the Montreal screw job, people wanted to like Bret Hart. We all know he's a sour, bitter old man now, but at the time, people wanted to like Bret Hart. So maybe it was an attempt at recreating Hulk Hogan joining the New World Order, where it's like, whoa, this babyface suddenly went evil, or maybe they thought that because he was a WWF guy, people would hate him. But yeah, the reaction when Bret Hart showed up to stop Booker was mostly like, what the fuck? What's happening?
It came out of nowhere. There was no mentioning of Bret Hart any time during the night.
Nope. And also, people really wanted to see Goldberg get his title back.
Yeah.
Like, and once again, it's watching some of this in 2025. You know, everybody now knows Goldberg as very mediocre, as just not... But, like, he was the man in WCW at that time. Like, he was king shit. Like, he was the superstar of that company.
It felt like WCW, from the two shows I saw, tried too hard with swerves.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's where Vince Russo gets his reputation as being the swerve guy. Ain't no one gonna see this coming, bro.
Did swerves. Well, of course not, because it's stupid.
Yeah.
You do the swerves, and they don't pay off because you either do them too often, or they don't make enough sense because they're swerving too far.
Yep.
Off a cliff.
Yeah.
Anyway, is that all you got?
That's all I got.
I did say I have one last thought about Vince Russo.
Let's hear it.
That I have written down here. Because, honestly, my exposure to Vince Russo is very minimal. So I only know so much about him right now. But, my God, I thought McMahon was a ridiculous, incompetent supervillain. But Vince, he had nothing on Russo. My God, he's like so mustache twirling, and so bad at it.
Bro, this is a 3-decker cage, bro. Like, bro.
It's like it's like McMahon at least won every so often.
Yeah.
This was ridiculous. He looked completely incompetent. He looked ridiculous and stupid in that damn gear. And he was like, all the segments he was in were way too cartoonish. Even more. I thought it was bad with McMahon, but no, with Russo, it's even worse in every category.
So you could understand now where Cornette's saying where Russo had no real love for wrestling. He just wanted silly comedy. I don't agree with a lot of what Cornette... I don't agree with... I'll probably say... there's a lot of stuff Cornette says I don't agree with.
I think I've said at one point I agree with about 80% of what Jim Cornette says.
That could be about right. I absolutely agree with what he says about Vince Russo. Not all of it, but this specifically, that Vince Russo has no interest in the art of professional wrestling. He saw it as a means to put on a circus.
And it's interesting, is that you basically agree with what Jim Cornette says about Vince Russo. When you hear interviews with Vince Russo, he definitely has never learned his lesson, because he still acts like that arrogant tool who thinks he was right the entire time.
Yeah. I also do think that one of the interesting things about listening to Vince Russo and Jim Cornette talk about each other is how much of Vince Russo lives rent-free in Jim Cornette's head, and how much Vince Russo just does not give two fucks about Jim Cornette. It's like, what do you think about Jim Cornette? He's like, I don't even care about wrestling anymore. He's like, I don't even like wrestling anymore. Just leave me alone. Jim Cornette said this about you. I don't care. Whatever. Let him talk.
Jim's broadcast partner has done a very good job. It's like something Best, whatever his name is, has done a very good job at basically steering Jim away from the topic of Vince Russo.
Yeah.
It's like, have him talk about other stuff. Don't keep Vince Russo out of his head.
Yeah.
And we'll do fine.
Because like I said, the way that Vince Russo lives rent-free, if you watch any of the Dark Side of the Rings, Jim Cornette finds a way to talk about Vince Russo every chance he gets. Talk about the awfulness of him. But
that's with Mr. Best not being by his side to rein him in.
Hi, Cat. Zoomies. So one of the things I can... absolutely, this is worse than the Finger Poke of Doom episode. Like,
I actually kind of liked many parts of that.
Yeah, it was mostly just the main event that I didn't like. I'll say this, because I know you weren't here for the first episode. I think this is where the one saving grace... This is, I think, as a show, worse than Heroes of Wrestling. Maybe one day we'll rewatch it and revisit it, but...
that's not neat. I watched your episode.
The one thing is that Heroes of Wrestling was a pay-per-view, so you had to pay for it. The saving grace of this show has been it was free TV.
Yeah.
Nobody had to pay for it. I would still argue this is a worse show than this. This is other 3 episodes we've done. This one so far takes the cake. It's bad.
I won't say this one show destroyed WCW. I will say it is very much a symptom of the decline.
This show, yeah, you're right. It doesn't destroy WCW. This show absolutely showcases what was happening. Mm-hmm. The overcomplicated storylines, the pointless swerves for no reason, the absolute unwillingness to take the actual... Like, the whole thing with Chronic's like, oh no, Chronic's in now, what did I do? And what if Sting lost to the Dark Carnival? Now you've got Vampiro and the Great Muta. You clearly didn't think this through, dumbass.
I mean, was the entire time just to wear people down? Was that the plan?
Yeah, I mean, if a smart booker would have done it, he wouldn't have had qualifying matches. He would have just made them each wrestle a match beforehand to wear them down. Win or lose, but you still have to wrestle this match in order to...
But qualifying matches makes it more mustache-twirly.
That's true. And also let you accidentally put both members of Chronic in for some stupid-ass reason. But yeah, no, just... This is certainly a good capsule, a good snapshot of what was wrong with WCW at the time.
Yeah.
But I think the next episode, because this was your suggestion, the next episode we're going to do...
is actually a WWE event.
Yes.
I mean, kind of. Yes, but...
I mean, it was. Go ahead. What is...
It would have been like 2001?
2001, yep.
So skipping ahead just one other year. So I had Finger Poke, that was 99.
99.
Then this was 2000. Then 1 year later... we had WWF/WCW and ECW Invasion.
Yeah.
the opening event that started like a 8-month storyline
like
campaign.
that.
But the opening Invasion event, I remember checking it out at one point, and
yes, the actual pay-per-view called Invasion.
Mm-hmm. I think it's like before going into it, my initial thing was the event itself isn't terrible, but what it leads into is my.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch it again, but that's my initial.
Yeah, I actually think I've seen Invasion since like 2001. So it'll be interesting to go back and. So the two WCWs were new because, like I said, when I was getting into wrestling, I was a WWF loyalist. So
yeah,
I didn't watch a bunch of WCW. I was WWF, so I was there for Invasion. So we'll see what kind of comes of it once we go rewatch Invasion for next month's episode of Worst Wrestling Ever, and see if it is worse than Russo's Revenge.
I doubt it.
Probably not. Russo's Revenge is at some point there is an event. It's a big one, and I want to save it for a little bit just because I think that I think it's going to be a hard one to top. And it's a TNA event. But as always, I'm Sage. This has been Fox. And if you guys have any bad wrestling shows you'd like us to review, you can go ahead and leave them in the comments. Let us know. Because, you know, obviously, despite being wrestling fans, we don't know. We don't have photographic memories. So if there was an episode of Raw or Nitro or a pay-per-view that you think that we need to cover, yeah, just go leave it in the comments, and we'll see you in the ring.
I'll see you in the ring.
Bye.